Okay, let's call this meeting to order. It's already 8:20 in the morning. Good morning. Today is Saturday, June 5th, 2021. This is a special meeting at the library. Some trustees are online and some are in person. Allison, please take roll call. Security's here.
Yes, here.
Lisa, are you present?
Jose, can you hear Allison?
Allison is talking. We can't hear her.
We cannot hear Allison.
Okay, let me start again.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Trustee Benavides. Trustee Foyt, yes. Trustee Melendres.
Yes.
Trustee Raymaker.
Yes, here.
Trustee Rogers.
Here.
Trustee Wilson. Trustee Waugh.
Here.
Trustee Giron. Trustee Whiteley.
Here.
You have a quorum, Charities.
Good morning and thank you very much. I'm sorry for the early morning, but I figured let's do it early so we don't get up your day in the middle of the day. Family and personal business. Having heard that we have a roll call, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance real quick. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance
To the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The record will reflect that we have a quorum. At this time, we'll entertain any public comment. Ms. Ellison, is there any public comment?
No.
No public comment. We have board action to accept the proposed agenda. Who will make that motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
First, move to approve by Nathaniel Waugh. Who will second the motion? Second by Brian Wilson. Okay, first things first. Ms. Ellison, who called for the meeting? On the record, which trustees called for the meeting?
Trustee Brian Wilson, accompanied by trustees Melendres and Benavides, asked for the meeting.
Thank you very much. Just make a record of it. The special meeting was called for by Trustee Brian Wilson, Trustee Kelly Benavides, and Trustee Jose Luis Munoz. Okay, so today there's a discussion of possible board action to move the regular board meeting scheduled for June 10th, Thursday, 2021 at 6 p.m. to a Friday, June 25th, 2021 at 8 a.m. So we have a bunch of, we'll go through this real quickly, and then I'll ask everybody for their thoughts and decide where we proceed with that. First of all, June 10th, 2021 is our regularly scheduled nominating committee for the next executive committee. Also, scheduled board meeting. Very well, attorney, will you read Article 11 of the bylaws?
Article 11 says amendments to these rules may be proposed at any regular meeting, but may become effective only after a favorable vote at a subsequent meeting.
The bylaws, Article 5.
I mean, read Article 5, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
The officers of the board shall be chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. Their terms of office shall be 1 year coinciding with the fiscal year. At the first regularly scheduled meeting in May, the chair shall call for nominations to a nominating committee consisting of at least one officer of the board and any other two board members, and shall designate one of their members to act as the chair of the committee. The nominating committee shall prepare a recommended slate of proposed officers for the next term of office, consisting of one candidate each for the office of chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. At the first regularly scheduled meeting in June, the chair of the nominating committee shall present the committee's recommended slate of officers to the board. After the slate has been presented, the chair shall ask for additional nominations, if any, from members of the board. Additional nominations may be made by individual board members in their own name or by nominating another board member. However, a board member may be nominated to run for only one office at a time. Elections for the officers of the board shall be held immediately subsequent to the close of nominations at the June meeting. Elections shall be in the following order: chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer. A board member cannot be elected to any office more than 2 consecutive terms. The chair is not prohibited from voting. The duties of all officers shall be such as by custom and law.
Thank you very much. And so the request is to move June meeting, contains the elections, June 10th meeting to June 25th. Just ministerial points here, Jerry. So the bylaws in Article 11 say these are rules. These rules can only be done, any changes to these rules can be done at a regular board meeting. Today is a special board meeting. And I'll wait, if you can wait to give us an answer, okay? That's the first threshold that we need to deal with. This is a special meeting. Can we change the rules, the bylaws, special meeting and not at a regular meeting? Secondly, as part of that, it says, if you do change them, it doesn't occur, it occurs on a subsequent meeting. So that one's pretty easy. We go back to Article 5. Article 5 is pretty clear. These bylaws. First regular scheduled meeting, the chair shall create a nominating committee, which I did. It was Brian Wilson, Sandra Raymaker, and myself. And the nominating committee shall prepare a recommended slate. That will occur on June 10th. Still holding that meeting. And let's see here. Regularly scheduled meeting in June, the chair of the nominating committee shall prepare recommendations and other people nominated at that meeting. So, request is to move at a special board meeting, not at a regular meeting. Request is to move regular June 10th meeting to June 25th. Can we do that?
Okay, well, you left off one article, which is Article 2. Regular meetings shall be held on the second Thursday, and it may additionally be held on the fourth Thursday of each calendar month at 6 p.m. in the library, or such other time and place as the board may designate. So in the past, regularly scheduled meetings, if you will, or the meeting at which the regular business of the board takes place, has been moved for a variety of reasons, either at the request of the chair, the request of the executive director, one of the requests of board members for personal or religious reasons. So regularly scheduled meetings, in my definition, would be those meetings that are conducted for the regular conduct of the board. So yes, it is my belief that that only the board can move the regularly scheduled meeting to a different date by a majority of the voting members of the board, if that answers your question. To amend the bylaws, yes, you would need 2 meetings to do that. I don't believe the request to move the regularly scheduled meeting is a request to amend the bylaws.
Mm.
Thank you, Jerry. So the record will reflect that our attorney, Jerry Welt, has advised us that special meeting does not constitute an amendment to bylaws, and that we have the authority to do that if the trustees so wish. Thank you, Jerry. That's just make the record. Okay, so let's start off with this. Brian, please tell us why you would like the board meeting moved 10th to
When you appoint the nominating committee, spoke with our
We can't hear Brian.
anything. Hello, can you hear now?
Much better. Yeah, you just got to stay closer to the microphone.
Okay, so somebody yell if I can't be heard.
Trustee Melendez had contacted me and asked if we had a process in place that allowed for proxy voting because he was not going to be present. Trustee Beneditez also voiced concern that she wasn't going to be able to vote for not being present and asked if there was any way to still be able to vote for board elections. After speaking with our counsel Welt, there is no proxy method in our bylaws. There's no way to amend our bylaws in a timely fashion because it takes 2 meetings to do so. So the only suggestion Council Welt had was to move our regular meeting to the June 25th meeting when all trustees will be present. And this way everybody would have a opportunity to vote. Relayed that information to Trustee Melendez, Beneditez, who both agreed that that's what they'd like to do so that they could have a vote in elections. That is the purpose of the request to move it. Basically, to just let the whole board be present to vote.
Trustee Melendez, your request to
I didn't hear that last part, Felipe, but yes, I would like to. I'm requesting that the meeting be moved so that I would have the opportunity to be able to vote for the next set of officers.
very good. Trustee Elizabeth Foy, can you hear us? Please share with us your thoughts on this request.
I believe it's a very sensible request, and I am in.
Thank you so much. Trustee Nathaniel Waugh, please tell us your thoughts on this request.
I don't see any harm doing it, so more trustees can participate, so I'm fine with it.
Thank you. Trustee, please tell us your thoughts.
I feel like it's important for everyone to have a voice in voting, so I would be the 25th.
Trustee Kate Turner-Whiteley, please tell us your thoughts.
I'm in favor of everyone having a voice and moving it to make that happen. I'm a little concerned that we're moving it to the day that's supposed to be our retreat and that we're going to be taking several hours out of a planned full day session that I think is really important.
Very much. Trustee Rogers, your thoughts.
Trustee Whiteley just wrapped up what I was going to say. I support the opportunity for everyone to vote, moving the meeting to whatever the date is. I'm just a little concerned about how much time it's going to eat away at the retreat and how effective the retreat is going to be as a result of that.
Very much. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, your thoughts.
Well, I have a couple questions. I mean, moving it, it says we move it to a regular meeting. A retreat is not considered a regular meeting. And even though all of us believe that we will be there, we don't know that everybody's going to be there. So if everybody's not there, we're going to change it again. So whoever's not there can vote. It's like setting a precedent. Was anything that we have to vote on. So if people aren't here, then we're going to change it so we can cover to make sure that person could be covered next time. It just, I have a concern with that. I believe everybody should have a right to vote, but I mean, even when people who asked for this isn't even here today on the call. So I have a problem with moving it to the retreat. I have a problem moving it at all. Thank you
very much. And so my thoughts on this, and strictly talking about one item, June 10th, the regular scheduled meeting to Friday, June 25th. So first of all, the meetings are announced in December. Some of the trustees have been on this board for a long time. They know, and that's an opportunity to say, I won't be here, I will be here, that's not a good date, and so on. Then it was publicly announced to everybody. Then we had a meeting in May where it was again announced that we were going to have the meeting. And so there was an opportunity to ask. No ask was made. And so what's the harm in moving the meeting? The harm is we deprive the residents of Las Vegas who are listening to the meeting at 6 o'clock. Now they're working and they can't listen to it at 8 in the morning on a Friday. What's the harm? We also deprive our employees, who we've had up to about 200 employees listening to meetings. And then now they have to work on a Friday, so they're not able to listen to the elections at 6 o'clock. But having said that, I'm a firm believer in allowing people to vote. That's not what we're here for. I just wanted to make a record so that we don't do this again. Planning, planning, planning. And then secondly, please have trust in the other trustees that they're going to make the right decision. We do things because we want to do the right thing. And so if you're not able to be there, if I'm not able to be there, I trust each and every one of you to make the right decision.
So
And I will
just
not
real,
be offended by.
Felipe, real quick.
I gotta-
This is
hang on, I'm not done yet. I'll say I still have the floor. Hang on. And so I would not be offended if I wasn't there and a vote was taken. And there is a workaround, which I'll share in a second. Okay, I cut you off, Jose Luis. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, that last point you just made about not trusting my fellow trustees, that's not the issue at all. I have full trust and faith in my trustees that they'll do the right thing. So I kind of take offense to that comment. Secondly, I understand what you're saying about all the meetings are proposed, and we all know the schedule. But as we've learned over the past year, life happens, and the reason I'm traveling next week is not because I'm taking a full-on vacation or anything like that. I'll be on the record with this. I have a younger brother who suffered a minor heart attack, and I'm going out to see him. So sometimes this scheduling, as we all like to talk about and plan, is beyond our control. So I kind of disagree with those statements. Things happen, and we have to respond to it as we do. So it's not an issue of not having trust in my fellow trustees.
And thank you very much. So the record, you are correct. That was a generic statement, not directed at anyone in particular. And so thank you, Jose Luis. We appreciate and value you as a trustee and your membership here on the board. So what is the workaround? So one, let's do it this way. Let's take a motion to move the meeting. And then there is something that we can do to correct it, unless you want to hear the workaround first.
Let's hear the workaround, and if that's viable, maybe it's not necessary to move the meeting if it allows everyone to participate in the voting process.
Okay, thank you. So the workaround, and again, I'm not opposed to, people have things that happen and we would like everybody to be present. The workaround is that we move the June 10th meeting, regularly scheduled meeting, to June 25th at 8 o'clock with two items. One is just the elections, and then the rest of the day is spent on our board retreat. The library still has business to do, so then I would be, as chair and per the bylaws, I would be calling for another meeting in June to go over our regularly scheduled agenda items. That would be called a special meeting. So whatever items that we did not get, if we transfer the entire agenda to Friday, June 25th, Trustee Kate Turner-Whiteley is absolutely correct. We're going to eat time away from our board retreat. The directors already has scheduled individuals to come help us. And so I believe that that's important, especially we have 3 new trustees. And so if we move that, the workaround would be, let me repeat that one more time, move the regularly scheduled meeting of June 10th to June 25th. And at that meeting, and Jerry, you can correct me, we would have just 2 items. We would have the vote, the elections for the trustees. I would present the nominations and ask for more nominations. And then we would then move to our board retreat. Jerry, is that doable?
I believe you would also have to add the regular reports from staff. That's what happens at our regularly scheduled meeting. But the additional business, new business that we would have could be done on the 10th at a special meeting.
Felipe,
Okay.
real quick, Trustee Benavides is on the call. She needs to be unmuted so she can talk.
Oh, thank you. Welcome, Trustee Kelly Benavides. Go ahead. Any thoughts? I don't know if you heard the conversation.
I did. I just wanted to concur with Trustee Jose Melendres. I mean, these are situations that obviously we need to take as they come. So I just wanted to be able to put that on the record as well.
Thank you. So I just gave the workaround on how to address and meet the needs so that everybody is present for an election vote. Yes, Trustee Raymaker, go ahead.
So I have one question. Would we still have a June 10th for our risk? And that's supposed to be when we do the nominating.
Yes, those are separate meetings that have nothing to do with the
But
regular.
in the bylaws, it does say that right after you make the nominations, we will vote following.
Jerry, is that doable? Can we still have the nominating committee and the risk management committee on those dates on June 10th? Is it?
Yes, normally we have the nominating committee in May. And it doesn't even present its findings to the next meeting. So it's not normally scheduled for right before the main meeting.
So I think we've always done it in June, Jerry, but the question's still the same. Is that permissible?
Yes.
Okay, does that answer your question, Trustee Raymaker?
Thank you.
Okay.
Chair Ortiz,
Yes.
with respect, Allison Boyer, Executive Assistant for the record. So my understanding is from Jerry and from yourself is you are proposing to move you are proposing to keep the nominating committee and the risk management committee meetings the same on the 10th. And then that same evening have a special meeting to do all the new business items. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, then I would like Jerry, would that meeting that has now been posted, would I have to, I would have to change the posting to correct it. Is that correct, Mr. Welt?
Yes.
Okay, and Allison, we're not quite there yet, okay? So, thank you. But that would be procedure to what happens. Brian Wilson, your thoughts on that workaround?
Two things. I want to address Trustee Raymaker's concern about people not being able to be present in the future. We can solve this for future issues much easier by just amending our bylaws to allow proxy voting, and that would have saved us from this situation in the first place. But other than that, the workaround seems acceptable to me, other than I'd just like Jerry to confirm for certain that we can have the nominating committee meeting. And it doesn't have to be the same day as the regular meeting. So as long as we are 100% certain on that, then the workaround moves for me, and I would be in favor of that workaround.
Yes, the only reason the nominating committee is scheduled before the meeting at which a report is given was convenience of the trustees. Typically, when there have been numerous discussions regarding the nomination, they've taken place some days before the general meeting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a copy of the bylaws here, of course, on my phone, and I've lost my bookmark, so.
I can read it again.
Trustee,
At the first regularly scheduled meeting in May, the chair shall call for nominations to a nominating committee consisting of the nominating committee shall prepare a recommended slate of proposed officers for the next term of office.
Okay.
At the first regularly scheduled meeting in June, the chair of the nominating committee shall present their recommended slate. And that's what you're doing. You don't have to meet.
Okay, so
before
yeah,
the
I see
meeting.
it now there. That it doesn't require when we make the nominations, it only requires when we present them. So we can make the nominations, 4 days from now, no problem. We just have to present them at the first regular meeting, which will be moving to June 25th. That seems to satisfy all the criteria of the bylaw, and I can support that.
Trustee Jose Luis Melendez, your thoughts on the workaround?
I support it. Thank you.
Hey, Trustee Kelly Benavides, so we can let you go. Your thoughts on the workaround?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank you very much. Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, your thoughts on the workaround?
I'm fine with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Nathaniel Wah, your thoughts on the workaround?
As this was brought by Trustees Melendez, Benavides, and Wilson, if it's good with them, it's good for me.
Thank you. Trustee Keith Rogers, your thoughts?
I'm okay with the workaround.
Trustee Jennifer Jerome, your thoughts?
I support the workaround option. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kate Turner Whiteley, your thoughts?
If I understand it correctly, it means we're submitting reports on the day we're supposed to do the meeting, the retreat. So I'm not really sure what the workaround is.
Okay, So the bylaws say that we have to have a regular meeting to present the candidates. And so everybody for sure is going to be there on Friday, June the 25th. So we would move the meeting to June the 25th, but because the director is already prepared and got somebody to help us with our, board retreat, then we would reduce the regular meeting time by just having the reports as backup and having the elections, probably 1 hour, and then we move to our board retreat. We still have business to conduct because this library is a $91 million budget, a lot of things to do. So I would call for a special meeting on Thursday, June the 10th. And why? Because we already have trustees traveling to the meeting. And so that way we get the library business done. And so the key was everybody wanted to be present to vote. So I think it accomplishes that. The director has agenda items that he needs to be vetted and voted for or approved. And so, that's what it is. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I appreciate the clarification. I think that it's not ideal. I don't like that we're shortchanging our programming updates, and I don't like that we're shortchanging our retreat at all about this. But I'm undecided at this moment.
Okay. So at this time, thank you very much. Did I miss anybody? Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to move our regularly scheduled June meeting to June 25th, 2021 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Trustee Wilson, motion to move the first regularly scheduled meeting of Thursday, June 10th, 2021 at 6 p.m. to Friday, June 25th at 8 a.m.
Waugh seconds.
Daniel Waugh seconds. Let me go down the list. Trustee Benavides, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Osalis Melendres,
Aye.
Trustee Elizabeth Foyt,
Aye.
Trustee Brian Wilson,
Aye. Oh, sorry.
Trustee Nathaniel Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Jennifer Jerome,
Aye.
Dr. Rogers,
Aye.
Trustee Kate Turner Whiteley,
It's a nay for me on this one.
okay, and Trustee Raymaker,
Nay.
and then I, Felipe, vote no, but the ayes have it. So be prepared on at 8 o'clock. Make sure we're there on time. We'll do a presentation. It'll be a regularly scheduled June meeting, June the 25th. We'll do the agenda. We'll do the board reports. And then we'll do as a new item, the presentation of the candidates, the slate, and then ask for nominations, have elections. Hopefully get through that very quickly so that we can move on, Director, with the board retreat and the person you're bringing in to really guide us, okay? Did you have any questions or comments on that part?
No, I'm fine, Chair Ortiz. My only question is regarding the timeliness for Allison to post this June 10th special meeting.
Okay. Then I'll get to that in a second. Secondly, we'll continue on with our June 10th nominating committee meeting. Those that are on the committee, everybody else is welcome to attend. We'll also have our regularly scheduled risk management committee meeting on June the 10th, Thursday, and then a special meeting. How much time do we need, Jerry, to post?
3 days to, it's sort of confusing because we have posted it, so the public has noticed that we're having a meeting. What we're doing is amending our agenda.
Are we allowed to have 2 meetings in June? Oh, no, we couldn't, because then it wouldn't be the first meeting. Never mind. So it'd still be called a special meeting. So we would amend the agenda.
Just to clarify, Jerry, this is Allison. So I am amending the agenda to change it from a regular to a special meeting. I'm removing the reports and I'm removing the items regarding the election. And we're just doing new business.
Correct.
Very good.
And then just to recap, the June 25th meeting, we're adding it to that meeting and adding the retreat. Did you have any more questions, Allison?
Jerry, if I get this posted by 9 a.m. Monday, will that satisfy the 3 days?
I believe it will, but again, we've already given them notice, so
Very
it's
good.
an unusual situation, but I believe it will.
Thank you, Jerry.
Chair.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
Just a clarifying question on the nominating committee. Since Trustee Raymaker has withdrawn from that committee, who has taken her place?
She actually, this is Felipe Ortiz for the record, she actually jumped the gun not knowing what the rules were, so she's still on the committee.
Okay.
She withdrew.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify it for the record.
She withdrew.
She withdrew the withdrawal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's shame on me for not having read the bylaws at the last meeting so that everybody understand how the process is. So, but it's a learning experience, and that's why we're having a board retreat, so we get better at learning what our roles and tasks are.
So we're not going to golf?
Maybe.
Okay.
Trustee Wilson, any other comments or announcements?
No, thank you very much. I think that solves everybody's concerns.
Trustee Elizabeth Foyd, any comments or concerns?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you for being online. Trustee Benavides, if still online, any comments or concerns?
No.
Thank you. Have a safe trip. Well, Trustee Jose Luis Melendres, any comments or concerns?
No, but I do want to say to my fellow trustees, thank you for your consideration and for working on this. Because again, what we do as trustees for the library is important to me, and you know, and everything that's happening coming out of the post-pandemic and all this. I think our next e-board is going to have their hands full with our executive director, with all the changes and things that we're all going to have to learn to adopt and how we work in public places. So it's part of why I'm grateful to everybody for allowing this, because again, I think it's one of the most important things we do for our community. So thank you for everybody's work on this today and for working with us on this.
Thank you, Jose Luis. Have a safe trip, and I hope you find your family safe. Thank you so much. Dr. Rogers, any last questions, comments, or announcements?
No, I don't have any.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kate Turner-Whiteley, any last question, comments, or announcements?
None for me, thanks.
Thank you very much. Trustee Jennifer Jerome, any last questions, comments, or announcements?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Nathaniel Wah, any last questions, comments, or announcements?
I just want to thank Allison, Kelvin, and Nyla for coming in early on Saturday to facilitate this.
Thank you very much. Trustee Raymaker, any last questions or comments or announcements?
Just a quick one, since we're, the retreat is so important to all of us, and at this point, we have all committed and made changes so that we could be there that day. Is there any, I know it's 8 o'clock and a lot of people think 8 o'clock is really early, but because of adding the elections and what have you, is there any chance we could even move it like an hour earlier so that it doesn't interrupt all the things that we had going for the retreat? I mean, it's just a thought. I mean,
Or do an hour later? I don't know. What's
I think
better
that's a
for everybody?
terrific idea.
Why don't we split it and add a half hour earlier and a half hour later?
All right. Does anybody have any objections to that?
This is Jose. That sounds very reasonable, so that we can get the business done that needs to be done, and then still move forward with as much as possible to a regular retreat.
This is Kelly
Elizabeth
Benavides.
Floyd.
I would support the half an hour before and a half an hour after.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Floyd?
I'll go along with the vote of the majority. I'll be fine.
Okay, anybody else? All right, having heard no objections, then we move from 7:30 to half an hour start time so that we have that. All right, very good. Thank you very much. Allison, are there any announcements on behalf of the library?
Not at this time. I just had a question for Jerry. Should I also pull the minutes off next week's meeting too? The approval?
Can they be done in a special meeting?
I I would prefer that they took place at the regular meeting, and since they hardly ever take any time, we might as well do it.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. Director Watson, any question, comments, announcements, anything that I missed?
No, Chair Ortiz.
Thank you. Jerry Welt, Legal Counsel, is there anything that we missed?
I certainly hope not.
Thank you for your guidance and counsel. Okay, having heard no more announcements, is there any?
I'm so sorry, Chair Ortiz, and I do apologize for jumping in like this.
Take your time.
Because we are still doing new business, I will be sending out an email later today. If any trustees want briefings on the items that we're voting on next week, I will be sending out an email. We'll block off some time and we'll be happy to do telephone briefings for any of you that want them. I'm going to try and get the updated agenda out so you can review it and decide what you need to, whether you need to participate. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment, Ms. Ellison?
No public comment.
Having heard no public comment, this meeting is adjourned. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much.